Hi guys, welcome back. Or welcome if you do happen to be new here. I'm Danielle and I currently live alone and generally try to eat healthy, shop well, sensibly, and do it all on a budget as well. I am luckily in a place where I'm able to sometimes spend a little bit more to save more in the long run in terms of bulk purchasing. And with that, I have gone to both Costco and Lidl today. It does also mean I'm pretty tired because I live up 2 floors. I won't confuse people between the UK and the US difference of whether that makes it the first or the second floor. But I do live up 2 flights of stairs, and taking stuff that you've purchased in Costco up that many flights of stairs is pretty knackering because obviously it's quite heavy and bulky. But I did, like I said, I did do that. So I have definitely spent a lot of money this week. But overall, it will definitely save me money in the long run. And that's the only way that I can really kind of think about it. And it'll mean that I'm having to pick up less things for a number of weeks as well. So hopefully it will all be worth it. But let me stop myself from rambling on further. Let me show you what I got in Lidl first. Then I'll show you what I got in Costco. And then as always, let's meet back up for an intended meal of the week plan. So I did just have a very small number of items in Lidl this week. And as you can see here, the fact that it all fits onto my oven top pretty well. But I do just have some reduced fat soft cheese. I finished off the soft cheese that I do have, and I do have a recipe, or possibly even two, that do need it for this week. But for the rest of it, it'll probably end up going into sandwiches on sort of part of a toast, something like that. So it definitely won't go to waste. But again, a pretty simple, basic thing that I tend to pick up most weeks. Then I got some grana padano. Again, I had a recipe that said to use parmesan, but grana padano is always slightly cheaper. And given it is just sort of for the amount that I do need it for, rather than it being for sort of say parmesan chips or something, grana padano will work perfectly fine. Then I picked up some medium egg noodles. Again, I have a recipe for this, and we've gone over it a few times on my sort of project to use it up, but they're pretty much one of the few actual sort of noodles that I enjoy. I had a discount sort of code voucher for some of the cream eggs, and I really like the caramel ones and the white ones more than the classic ones. So I did get the mixed box rather than just the classic box. In theme of Easter, I also picked up some of their own brand mini eggs. These are obviously a lot cheaper than kind of the Cadbury's ones, and people have said that they're pretty good. So I figured I'd pick a couple of bags up to try. Then I also got a bag of peanuts. Again, I have a recipe that needs some peanuts sort of sprinkled on at the end. So I didn't want to get anything too fancy, especially since I'm not supposed to eat them anyway. I picked up some carrots because carrots are always useful to have around. I probably will do some chopping of them up and putting them into the freezer just because I don't normally go through carrots quite quickly enough. Then I also got a small loaf of sliced white cedar bread. They didn't have any small ones in brown, but I do already have some bread still left over, so I didn't see much point in getting a full sliced loaf of the one that I normally do. And I did like the way that it was like, eat this much, consider freezing the rest sort of thing. That was definitely something I appreciated. And then I haven't seen them doing these particular eggs before, but they have a smaller back or sort of a smaller box of free range eggs. So I did just pick up 6 of those as well, especially given that they were only 99p. All right, so let me show you what I got in Costco, and I will continue to put the prices on the bottom and the price up in the corner as well. And I will apologise because my voice is going a little bit today, but I did pick up some toilet rolls. It's a pack of 40, and it worked out to be a bit cheaper than the Sainsbury's own brand ones that I normally get. These will obviously last for ages and they don't go bad, so it made sense to stock up on them. But then I did also pick up on a Costco chicken. They obviously normally come in at sort of a loss with their chickens, but I figured it'd be super handy just to put together for a meal at the start of this week. I also picked up a super large thing of mushrooms. I have a recipe that needs a fair amount of mushrooms. Then I go through them a lot anyway, and they normally last decently well. In the same way as I have a recipe that needs some chicken thighs. So I figured I might as well pick up this super large pack because it did work out cheaper. This basically worked out the same price as getting some in Lidl for about an extra third of the quantity. So I will just take out what I have and then, or sort of what I need, and then I'll just put the rest into the freezer as well for the future. But yeah, it was definitely a decent price. I was quite surprised by the price of a lot of meat and everything in there as well. So I'll see how I do get on with it, to what quality I think it is, to whether I purchase more again in the future. Then I also got a set of, there's 4 packs in here, and in each pack there are 8 sort of basically pretend cheese strings. And I figured these would be a great sort of snack for me to have during a work break or when I do just want something to nibble on. Obviously, in a few weeks, I'm going into work training for a promotion. So I'm not too sure how my breaks and things will look in the future, but I figured it'd be good to have them. I also picked up a set of 4 halloumis. Halloumi obviously lasts a very long time, and I do find it to be a very useful thing to have. If I want sort of a meat free day, but I still want something that has a bit of a bite to it when it comes to an ingredient. So, like I said, I just picked up a box of 4 of those. And I figured it was a decent price point as well when I compare it to how much I'd normally be spending in something like Lidl. I will say the issue is that now it has to sit in my freezer, not in my freezer, in my fridge for that time. And it's obviously, I'll probably end up taking them out of the box just so it fits a bit better. I picked up a pack of bananas. These are obviously super large, decent sized bananas. They were fairly green, so they'll definitely last a while. Worst comes to worst, I can always turn them into banana bread. But they came in again at a decent price point as well. I picked up this super large thing of tomatoes just because I enjoy snacking on them. I enjoy putting them into meals, and I can always sort of blend them up if needs be to use as sort of a part of a sauce or something if I fear that they will be going bad. Like I said, I'm normally pretty good at being able to eat them all before that actually happens anyway. So yeah, and it's like I say, it seems probably a bit excessive for one person to get a kilogram of tomatoes. Like I said, I love snacking on them. I could just happily snack on quite a few of them, instead of sort of fruit or something. I also picked up 2 mango lassi drinks. This is sort of a mango yogurt kind of thing. Again, they were a decent enough price point, and I seen them and I wanted to treat myself to something a little bit different. Talking of treating myself to things, I did pick up this huge thing of sourdough style pretzels, which, as you can see, they have all the way until the middle of June on them. So they have basically 3 months for me to eat my way through them. I figured these would be a nice little bit of a snack when I want something that's crunchy as well. Then, obviously, bonus side to it, I will have that tub left afterwards. And I do think I know what I actually want to do with that tub. So it will at least be a useful piece of plastic to have ended up with in my life. The treats continue with a pack of 24 cookies. Includes the white chocolate ones, the chocolate ones, that sort of, and then the double chocolate ones as well. So definitely looking forward to giving those a go and just slowly working my way through them. I might see whether I can freeze them. Probably shouldn't, but I reckon it should be okay to actually do that. Then I got myself a huge amount of tuna. I compared this to the price in Lidl, and yes, it is slightly more per tin, but the drained weight of these works out slightly better, and it's a more consistent type of tuna. And I feel just a little bit better in terms of knowing exactly what kind of tuna it is. And like I said, the fact that the tin sizes, after you've drained it, are slightly bigger as well, is definitely a win-win. I'm running super low on the peanut butter that I have. This pip and nut one worked out to be a slightly better price, or at least the same price as the one that I do get in Lidl. So I figured, seeing as I was there, I might as well pick it up anyway. I got this huge thing of garlic. Now, I appreciate that again, this seems to be a bit excessive, but I will just peel it all up and freeze it, do it into different methods. So I'll probably keep some of it whole, and then I'll probably also blend a lot of it down, freeze it into little cubes or something with a dash of water or some butter or something, just so that I have it there ready to go. So it will take obviously quite a while to do that, but it will save me a lot of time in the long run as well. Then I got a huge thing of shallots. Now, I really love shallots. I find that they're great for me to therefore be able to put into sort of salads as well as into cooking. And in my kitchen, at least, things like shallots and onions last a super decent amount of time. But again, if I do start to get concerned about them turning, I will just chop them up and pop them into the freezer ready to go for the future. I got this thing of dried mixed mushrooms. I again thought about the price of the last time I got some mixed mushrooms from the Lidl Deluxe section when I happened to spot some, and figured that this was a pretty similar price point. but it had a sort of a bigger selection of mushrooms going on in there. That it'd just be handy to have as a big amount ready to go for a whole variety of different meals. And again, I can always reuse the tub as well. I picked up some more granulated garlic and then some chopped onion as well. I was starting to run pretty low on both of them. So, given them, I do go through them quite frequently, I decided it made sense to actually pick up on both of them again in a larger amount. And I can always just sort of decant it bit by bit into the jars that I have. Also, because of the fact that I am a work from home girly, I decided to pick up some vitamin D. Now, I've thought about it for quite a long time, so it wasn't actually an impulse purchase. It was more the fact that I was somewhere where I could get it in a large quantity, so it made sense to actually pick it up there. Now, I'm not the kind of person that cares particularly about my bin bag types. I don't care about them being centered. I don't normally need them to be heavy duty because I don't put sort of heavy, bulky things in them. So I did just pick up 150 of their pedal bin liners as well. The only downside to those is that they're obviously some of the tie top ones, but I can work with that. And then I picked up a box of 12 tins of chopped tomatoes. I pondered between getting these ones and then the organic ones that they have, but the organic ones were more expensive. And whilst I do care about that, I also care about saving money. Then I spotted that they have the toothpaste that I get in there. And these are longer sort of tubes than normal for me. And there was a total of 6 boxes in here. And it just seemed like too good a bargain to leave there. Because again, it lasts ages. It's a product that I use every single day. So I will end up going through it and it won't go bad and sort of be forgotten about. I decided to get a random snack. I tried really hard to not pick up loads of random snacks. So I just picked up some seaweed rice bags. My mum also picked up a bag to give a go as well. So hopefully both of us enjoy them. But yeah, I obviously like rice snacks. I like seaweed things. So I'm sure the combination of the two will be fantastic. If you're interested in me doing one of my little mini reviews that I sometimes do on something like this product, then do let me know and I will happily share my thoughts in more detail with you. I picked up 6 jars of olive oil. Again, these will last ages. They're going to be sitting in the room that you see now. So they're able to be in a dark enough space, in a cool space. But it obviously lasts a fair while. But I do go through it quite frequently. And I said to my mum that if she finds herself needing to have some olive oil, then she can always have a bottle of it as well. But yeah, I was pretty much all out of olive oil. So I decided to pick some up whilst I was there. And then I'm also trying to get better at swapping out my milk. Now, I can't have sort of cashew milk, almond milk, anything like that. So I did pick up some of the Plenish oat milks. It's the no added sugar ones, anything like that. And they're obviously pretty simple in terms of ingredients. Yeah, there's 12 of them in here. Is it 12 or is it 8? I think it might have been 8. Hmm. Let me check the receipt and I'll pop it myself, sort of as a correction down on the bottom for you. But then the other thing that I did pick up as well was an extra large bag of extra long basmati rice. This is a 10 kilogram bag, but it has a resealable thing on the top. I can just scoop it into the container that I have for rice as well. So that'll be easy enough to do. So yeah, so now you can see why I was crying a little bit about how much I had sort of spent. But like I say, it's completely understandable. It will save me money in the long run. It's all stuff that will last a decent amount of time. There's some things I can obviously put into the freezer that I can do different things with as well. Sort of such as say all of that huge amount of garlic. I'm perfectly happy to prepare that, put some of it into the freezer in different formats as well. So it's just there ready to go for whenever I need it. And that will also help to save me time in the long run. So again, it's definitely worth it. But I have figured out my food plan for the week. And I know this is the last book that I did go from, but I'm just going to go from it again. It is the full on flavour book again. But I'm going for it because I've still been struggling to get back into cooking and being in a bit of a routine with it. So I want to go to a book that I know that I can trust and is safe and reliable and has decent recipes in there as well. And there were some that the last time I went from that book that I didn't get around to doing, such as the chicken Kiev risotto. I have a tiny amount of risotto rice left. I didn't actually get any more in Costco, which I probably should have done, but I just want to at least get that out of there for now. I want to do the chicken pasanda again. I have everything for it and I really enjoyed it, and I picked up, as you would have seen, some of those chicken thighs in Costco, so I can put some into the chicken pasanda, some into one of the other dishes that I have as well. And then I have an easy garlic noodles, some dan dan noodles, and some quick creamy mushroom, it says macaroni, but the photo that they used wasn't macaroni. I'm pretty sure it was rigatoni instead, but they say we like to use macaroni now. But I do still have about half a pack of macaroni left, so I was thinking I could probably do that, do it in a larger quantity, especially since I did get all of those mushrooms as well. And then I can have it for a couple of days, or have it sort of as lunch or something as well. So that's at least the plan for the week. I'm definitely feeling more inspired, motivated, that I've kind of got my head back together in terms of a routine and figuring things out. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of put that all into action now. So all I've got to do now is successfully do a bit of Jenga in my fridge and my freezer and in my cupboards, move things around better in my spare room, and then I can spend the rest of the day relaxing. But yeah, definitely going to not look at my bank balance for a while, pretend that that didn't happen, and hopefully that'll be a bit better. I will say it was amusing because my mum came with me and she said she didn't really think that she wanted to get anything. She didn't know what she might pick up, and then about a third of what I spent was basically stuff that mum was getting as well, sort of, which obviously I haven't included in the total cost and a few other things. But yeah, definitely was a spendy day. But like I say, it definitely isn't actually that spendy when you consider how long things like 6 bottles of olive oil will last me. It just feels like it was obviously a lot because of spending it all at once. But I think that is a key part to trying to live well, eat on a budget, and sort of make sensible choices. So sometimes we do have to acknowledge that where we can, and I appreciate that it isn't possible for everyone, but where we can, sometimes it is better to spend a bit more if it means that we're saving more in the long run as well. But that is enough of my rambling. Hopefully you'll catch up with me next weekend to go see how those meals actually went, because I will be trying to get back to doing my meals of the week videos as well. And I normally obviously publish those the day before I publish my kind of grocery shop video, but you can then obviously check back in next weekend just to see how little items or how much I still ended up spending and buying in Lidl next weekend as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing if you're still here, because clearly it means that you've enjoyed the video enough to stick around this long. But until then, if I do see you again, then I'll see you again soon. And if not, thank you for stopping by anyway. Take care. Bye for now.